Hello, everybody. This is Darren Redmond from FHT Sports, and happy first day back to work on the new year 2019. Hope everybody had a happy, safe, healthy holiday season. It just feels like yesterday that we were warning people against giving away fun sized candy on Halloween because we all know that there's nothing fun about fun sized candy. You blink the eyes, and then all of a sudden the Christmas decorations are up and people are going to Thanksgiving and talking about Turkey Bowl. Some great memories of Turkey Bowl out in Rockaway Beach out in Queens, where I was living for a while, right on the beach. And then it's Christmas, right? Then boom, you're in lines, and then you're at the at the table. Some great memories about Christmas, and then that week between Christmas and New Year's just seems to fly, right? You seem to just be napping, eating, and drinking. Just napping, eating, and drinking. I don't know how that got there. So anyway, welcome to this. This is something that we are going to be doing ongoing. And I love tonight because I know Serge, the hockey guru, is manning the wheel on at Facebook Live, and he's going to be doing a great job. And I thought it was this. Uh, there's a lot going on the East Coast. Uh, all the games are already done. The stories are ready to be told the next morning. But why wait till the next morning, right? Let's have a discussion right now. Let's talk about how your team is doing. Or if it's off season, how the trades are going. And out here on the West Coast, most of the games will be over, not all of them, but this way we could touch as many people as possible and do so in a way that is interactive. The old medium is not dead. They just don't know they're dead. They're walking around like a bunch of zombies right now. They're putting a mustache, on something that used to not have a mustache and calling it a different thing. Same thing. Same thing. So that's what we want to do. And again, engagement is key. What are we going to do and how we're going to do it and talk to you and this and that. There's a lot going on. First thing I want to talk about, and you might have seen the social media post that I just put out. We have a special guest tonight. We wanted to, talk about a couple of things, and we're moving that agenda to tomorrow. But one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to forget to remind everybody that the Fresno Monsters are back at Selland Arena. Last couple of weeks before the end of the home schedule. Then they go on the road for almost a month. What can I tell you about the Fresno Monsters? Killer Kevin Kaminsky has this team playing at a very high level. One of the amazing things about this team is how it changes during the course of the year. What are the needs? Are there injuries? As you know, one of our star players, one of the Monster star players, broke his jaw in 3 different places during the Vegas showcase. So, how do we compensate for that? We have 4 goalies. How do we get them all action at the same time? Let them all know that there's enough soup for everybody, if you know what I mean. How are we doing late in games? Are we taking penalties that we shouldn't be taking? Are we getting those concise goals? Could somebody be added to the team before the trading deadline? Let's see who this is. Yes. Michael Medina. Yes. There was a jaw was broken, and sorry about that. Um, I'm gonna, his name right now escapes me. Shame on me. I'll always tell you the truth. But I'll get you that name. We'll get that injury report out. Thank you for asking. Happened in the 3rd period of the game on Sunday. Seemed to me, from what I saw on the video, to be a legal hit. Might as well keep these on for a while so I can see what's going on. But he'll be out the rest of the year. Broken in 3 different places, it appears. And he just came back from another injury. So we'll get you updated on that. The team should respond, but he will be missed. Like I said, though, he was out for quite a bit with another ailment prior to this, and just got back on the ice and getting things going and doing very well. And then, unfortunately, like I said, that happened. When the hit happened, if you watched it on Black Dog, he went right to the bench. Right to the bench, happened right near a face-off circle. And again, from what I've seen it maybe a dozen times by now, and it seemed to appear to be just a clean hit. Unfortunate situation where the head and shoulder met. So Anyway, this is a big weekend series. You know, you want to come back from the traditional mid-season break for the Las Vegas Showcase and do some things. There's a lot going on. So if you can get there Thursday night, root this team on, get a jump start to the second half of the season. Tomorrow, Friday night, as you may or may not know, the Pee Wee Junior Monsters, the travel team. The Pee Wees, as you know, were the state champions last year. Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Tony, he's here. He's here. We're going to be talking. So I showed him this. How did that get here?
No, you're going to do a little.
We're
a little Paul John.
Paul John, and there we go.
This is an Indian Scotch.
We're going to do an Indian Scotch, and we have the cup. We have the glasses ready.
Is that possible?
Yes, right. It's possible.
It's not possible because it has to be from Scotland to be Scotch.
Ah, okay.
So there's a little story that we'll get into about that.
Oh, look at this. He's going to tell us stories. You know, he's going to tell us stories. So, do you know the name of I forget his name right now. Right here. Who broke his jaw?
Jack Johnson.
From the Monsters. The gentleman asked, and I forgot his name.
I do not recall.
Yeah. So he said that was an unfortunate situation, but it happened. So and then Friday night, they're going to be introducing at Center Ice the Pee Wee Fresno Monsters, who will be going to the Silver Sticks tournament, very prestigious tournament in Canada. They'll be leaving early next week. My God, that's bright, ladies and gentlemen. I can't see. I'm blind now, but that's good. See, the thing. This is why he's so good at photography and lighting. If you've seen our movie, you saw how wonderful the lighting was, and so he's making sure that we're lit. You know me. To me, it's like you know, I'm in a back alley. This is why the man's good at what he does. Thank God I could tell jokes and lift stuff. Else I'd be clueless. So, and then the following week, my job depends on Ag Night, and that's going to be a big night because we're also going to be incorporating Heritage Night into our festivities that night. And a lot of the people who play for the Fresno Falcons, and even some of those who are in the Fresno Hockey Hall of Fame now, will be in attendance. We'll have a very special Hall of Famer dropping the puck.
Who's the Hall of Famer, Darren?
I believe his name is Glenn Hines.
I think I've heard of that guy.
Yes, he's pretty darn good. And if you haven't seen his acceptance speech at the Hall of Fame dinner, it's available to you. We'll talk about that a little later. But it's definitely available to you. My God, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just ready to tell. I'm not telling any secrets, no military secrets. But no, that's good. So,
all right.
Yes.
Let me see. How's the light? Does that look gooder?
It looks gooder.
Light from below.
I'm living in half. Yeah.
Oh, we're actually live.
Oh, we're live. We're live.
Sweet. We got a rocking crowd of one.
Well, it's in and out.
It's in and out burger?
Yes. So, and here's what I'm thinking we're going to do. We are going
I can't believe you started without me, quite honest.
Look at that. It's 10 o'clock. Show them what's going on.
Jesus.
That's your first name. So, look at my wife looking out after you. See? For me, she'd be like, you're tough it up. But no, her friend Tony's coming.
All
right. So, Tony, what do you want to talk about?
What are we going to talk about? First of all, let me see. I don't know. Let's get to what we're doing here. We're going to have a couple of tastings here. This may not be a bad idea to do like on a regular basis.
Sure.
Quite honestly.
No, I got no problem with it.
So we're going to do I've been looking for a particular scotch.
You're not on camera.
I don't know. They can hear me. They don't need to see me. I got a voice for radio. I got a face for radio. It's a particular scotch that I got from a company called Costco. Some of you may have heard of it before.
Is that a small little place?
It's a little place.
Little mom and pop? Yes.
But they do big things there. Big things. Great things. Big things. Much more than Obama did.
No politics.
I'm sorry, I saw a meme today that said it's 2019. It's much later, much bigger number than Obama ever had. Brought to you by me.
No good.
I thought it was hilarious. Anyway, moving forward. Anyway, they have major scotch makers make scotch for them. And the last one was Macallan made their scotch. And this last one, they had...
so good.
Yeah, really smooth. And they had a sherry cask one that is absolutely great. It's not peaty. I don't know if you guys are into Scotch or not. Scotch is whiskey basically made in Scotland. Has to be made and bottled in Scotland. But it has American oak, and it's also for the last, I think, 6 months or 6 years or whatever it is. It was aged in sherry casks, and it has a very sweet flavor at the end. And I really liked it, so I was trying to find it, but they don't carry it anymore, as per Costco does that often. So
Just changes it up.
I went around trying to find something similar, and after I went to Costco today, they didn't have it, so I went over to Total Wine something.
Yes, that's the new place.
Total Wine and More. Yeah,
it's
buddy of
right-
mine was telling me to go there.
Yeah, it's the name of the office,
Yeah, that thing was pretty nice. They had a ton of crap there.
including
By,
cigars.
by crap, I mean, wait, quit. We're
No,
getting
no,
there.
sorry. Yes. See, this is not rehearsed.
Wine and beer and all that other crap that you people drink. You uncultured people that don't drink scotches. In case you know, this isn't a nice channel, right? This isn't.
There's some kids watching.
I don't play nice. Anyway, so in any event, they have a ton of alcohol, and they also have a humidor, which, by the way, is actually very moderately priced. So they have their own brand of cigars. So I figured, when in Rome, so that's what we're smoking. A couple of cigars from there. Say TWM, the wine.
Look at my wife.
Taste, wine
Just
more
make sure you have a heater.
I'm just gonna stick my hand in his shorts.
Anyway, here's what we're doing. Watch what we're doing. We're picture in picture. This is Serge on Facebook. We're looking at Serge on Facebook. We could do that next time.
I was just gonna bring the propane again and put it by the fire.
This thing is really warm. If you want it, it's right there. I'm gonna leave
It's actually not bad right here because we're kind of short. A little bit. Let me see.
a lot of it.
So anyway, so what we got here right here is we got picture in picture. So the three clowns.
No, I'm fine. I'm safe. I got my hat.
That's a nice hat too.
It's also warm.
More like that.
Oh, it's
So-
super warm. Oh yeah, that's right. She wore that one time.
So anyway, we got Serge here. We have Tony telling the story, and then we have me in bad reading glasses.
So where were we? Oh, Total Wine and More. That's the cigar tasting and sampling that we're doing today. You see that nice little Connecticut wrapper. It's their reserve, established 1991. That's all I know about it. And I'll let you know what it tastes like in just a moment as I char the tip, as you're supposed to char the tip of a cigar.
So, what do you think is the most important Fresno sports story? Serious question. Most important Fresno sports story from 2018.
From 2018?
Yeah, from this past year.
Well, let's see. The most important.
The most important.
Oh, besides Fresno State?
Whichever you think. The world wants to know.
Mm-hmm. I think Fresno State winning, beating Boise was huge.
I think so too.
Coming back from, miserable seasons. Fresno State's doing pretty good, actually, other than, doing pretty good with the, getting Steiner to coach the wrestling.
Yes.
And then the football team doing well.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
else? Let me see. We
what?
got Salland, the monsters at Salland, of course. That's always a plus. Let's see what we do sports wise.
Yeah, just to jump on the Fresno for a second. I mean, they're doing well, and you and I, we got to do baseball, football, basketball. We talked to the wrestling coach. Do you notice a culture there of just engagement? It's just good people that are knowledgeable, just good people.
Yeah. No, it's been fun going out there. We've been received well, and I'll tell you one thing: shooting the other sports other than hockey are definitely easier to shoot in
Tell 'em
regards
why.
to pictures. I don't know. I always read that hockey was the hardest sport to shoot, which I figured it was difficult when we first started, but it was just getting this. I kind of summed it up to not knowing my camera very well, and I learned my camera a little bit better. I guess I should give him the picture here.
Yeah.
Nice hat, eh?
We're loving that hat. All right, I'm stepping out. You go.
It's freaking cold, so that's why I'm wearing my hat. Because 80%, I don't know, whatever percent of heat is lost through your head. Actually, did you realize that 80% of statistics are made up on the spot? There you go.
There you go.
So,
Very good.
So in other words, getting pictures down there, the lighting isn't that good, even though the hockey arenas are lit up pretty well. Where's the camera? So I look into there. There we go. Are lit up pretty well. It's still difficult because the action is so fast. You really have to adjust your shutter speed, your f-stop, and everything else. And you have to have good lenses that acquire a lot of light. And in football, it's well lit, even though it's at night. But you can get away with I don't know, with better pictures. Some of the shots that I took, I was surprised. I thought they were fairly decent for never having shot football before, other than like my kids' game. And in basketball as well, the basketball shots are really kind of cool underneath the net. We're looking at getting a fisheye lens, so it gives a kind of a different perspective of the net as well. But overall, it's been a lot of fun. We've been well received. It's fun going down there. I know a couple of the photographers giving me tips and so forth. And no, it's been fun. I'm looking forward to more. I think there's a game this Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah, they're playing on the road tonight and then playing home on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the Mountain West Conference begins.
Well, there you go.
So
They finally lost. They had, what, 7 in a row?
we called it, unfortunately. We said that this is a trap game. Look out.
Yep.
You're a coach. You know exactly what that means.
Telling you.
Big victories, and then you got the lay down, you think.
Excuse me.
And then, so that's what happened. You know what? I feel, when I got the readers on, just in case you guys want to write in them, please do. When I got the readers on, I got on my favorite hat. I feel like that really terrible coach of the Bears previous to the one that they have now. I don't know. I just look like a bad B-movie high school coach. Come on, kids, one more lap. Let's go. Anyway. So I'm going to change sports for a second until Tony comes back. We'll talk more about this tomorrow when we make a deeper dive into baseball. The New York Yankees picking up Trubisky.
Okay.
The Yankees picking up Trubisky, who was released by the Blue Jays.
Let me know if you want me to go. Come on.
An amazing pickup because they get him for the league minimum. Toronto has all has all the skin in the game, has to pay all that money, $20 million contract. And if Trubisky's back from injury, even if he's 85-90% of who he was, what a great deal for the Yankees. The strong just get stronger. There is no downside to the Yankees getting Trubisky. So
The Yankees are drinking whiskey?
yes, the Yankees. No, that will be us in about 12 minutes.
I heard that you say that the Yankees are into whiskey. Funny that you should say that. So segue, that's what you call in the business a segue.
Segue.
Actually, I don't know if that's in the business or not.
Yes, well, we're in
it's
the
called
business
a segue.
now. Yes.
So the whiskey, again, as we mentioned earlier, Scotch. Scotch is basically whiskey.
Mhm.
However, has to be bottled in Scotland.
Yes.
With Scotland, everything.
It's
Right?
like that champagne nonsense. Instead, it's a sparkling wine. It has to be in the.
Oh yeah, and there's
That's
some
the
place in
Champagne Valley.
Champagne Valley or
Yeah.
some crap like that. Who cares? That's champagne. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
So
Sugar water.
this one here is this guy from India went down to Scotland, did some studying, did some learning, did some research, and learned how to make scotch.
Mm-hmm.
Bottled his own scotch over there. Decided, hey, I'm going to try something else. I want to do it with a little bit of ingredients I can find in India. So that's what he did. So keep talking while we try to reconnect.
Yep.
And it's a very good little scotch that I thought that we should sample today while we are out here.
Talking sports every night, 10 o'clock. This is what we're going to do.
Sports, cigars, and whiskey.
Is there anything wrong with sports cigars and whiskey? I
Look
don't
at this.
think so.
Look at the beautifulness of that.
Look at that. Don't put a goldfish in there.
Oh,
That is
that's awesome.
beautiful.
All right. Where's your glass?
I have them ready for us, sir.
Oh.
So, everybody enjoy the first day back at work. Look at this. Hello. We're going to salute.
A little spicy.
A little spicy.
By the way.
Spicy. All right, we're gonna salute the FHT sports fans out there. We have indebted in service to you. What are you looking for? Pennies in there?
No, there was something at the bottom of that thing.
Oh, here you go. Actually, I think I took your. Yeah.
As long as you don't lick it.
Again, there will be no licking. So anyway, next week we're gonna have the Hockey Hall of Famers at Selin Arena, and
There he is.
yes,
Cheers, all.
Salud. Chin chin, as they say on Mad Men.
which means chin up. Chin up, chin up.
Exactly right. Chin up. It's really good. Dude,
Nice,
it's got
eh?
a little bit of a bite, just enough to
Got a
say
little
I'm
spice
here.
in there, but
Yes.
otherwise, nice
Very
and
good.
smooth.
I'm very
Yeah.
happy.
So the quest is now.
There's a quest. I like quests. We like
The
quests.
quest is to find a scotch that matches the very strong sherry finish of the Kirkland brand, which may be difficult as I tried a Macallan sherry cask the other night and didn't even come close.
No?
No. So,
And by the way, anybody out there can answer this, please let us know.
oh yeah, all 5 viewers. If you know where
We'll be
the
able to play it again and again.
if you know where the Kirkland made their sherry cask scotch, please by all means let us know and who the maker is, as I will go out and buy that bottle of scotch and we'll try that here on the air.
That'll be good. Or if you have any recommendations for us, we'll do that as well.
No, we won't. This shit's expensive.
Well, yes, I know, but
Unless they're going to send it in which case, or contribute, then by all means.
maybe.
But
Donations are always accepted at FresnoHockeyTalk@gmail.com.
no better nation than donation.
That's what I'm saying.
There you
That's
go.
right. Yeah, we work for our money, man. I will be your trained monkey.
All right,
That's
so
what
where
here
were
for.
we? Not my monkeys, not my zoo. But
So
sports.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna have a table at the Selling Arena next week,
Oh yeah.
and at that night we're gonna have some of the Hall of Famers with us, and we're bringing the Hall of Fame trophy. If you haven't seen it, it's really beautiful. It's about 3.5 feet tall, and it's got engraved on it, or will be engraved right now. It's kind of placed on it, the names of all the Fresno Hockey Hall of Famers. And if you don't know this story, not to make this into an infomercial, we have available to you the History of Hockey Fresno movie and the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, and our director found 10 minutes of just hilarious footage that is not in the movie that is worth the price of admission itself.
True. I don't know where you found it though. Dude, that's a nice ash.
That is a nice ash.
What do you think?
I think it's really good.
For a house cigar? House blend?
Very good. Very. Where'd we get it again?
Total Wine and More, I think.
Yes. Near
Even
Pismo.
the girl that rang me out, she goes, "Do we have our own cigars?" Evidently. So we're gonna try them out, and here we are.
Here we are.
We're trying them out.
We try things out. That's what we do. That's how we roll.
Sure it is.
So, what do you think's the big story 2019? I got one for you. But I want to hear yours first.
What do I think? 2019? I don't know. Well, it's been a whole day, couple days here. Let's see what's happened last couple of days. Warren's running for president. You said no politics, but that's
Yes.
that's about the only news that I've heard of.
Well, I got one for you because again, you're intimately involved. You've been on the pitch. You've been on the at Grizzly Stadium, both for the Grizzlies and for the Foxes. Talked about year 2 of the Foxes, how important it is to get more people there, or
Yeah, so I got a beef with Fresno. I really do. This is nothing. I don't know what the rules are for this channel right now that Darren's trying to do, but we're about
they're
to
our
break
channel. They're ours.
because I as you
They're ours.
guys know, I don't like rules. So this damn town of ours,
I'm gonna be
bitching
drinking
and
whiskey.
moaning, pissing and moaning left and right, continuously about, oh, we need a sport, we need a pro sport, we need a pro sport. We've had pro sports here, they don't do well. This is a Johnny-come-lately town. Krispy Kreme came in, lined around the corner for a few months, and then whoops, nothing, dried up, and they left. Now they came back, they're in a box, right? So again, most sports, we had pro hockey here, again, dried up.
Yep.
We had arena football, dried up. We have pro football in Europe, and soccer for everybody else, and it's fun to watch.
Yes.
They have a really good product. Adam Smith is an excellent coach, very personable guy.
We really like it.
Yeah, and the guys, the team, they're very personal, very reachable. I like it. They're kind of like hockey. Like in hockey, you can go
Yes.
up, shake hands with the players, etc. Which I've always said is amazing compared to other sports. And you can actually go and talk to the players right after the game. They'll sign autographs, get a hug, and it's a fun sport to watch. I can't stand the diving. That's nothing new.
Can we get rid of the diving, please?
Holy hell!
Not really in the women's sport, but the men's sport. Boy, what?
Yeah, what is it? I'd love to see the women's team play the men's team and just whoop their ass.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's all the did you watch the World Cup?
Yes.
Neymar was just the memes that they had of him in a little walker because oh my god,
It's just.
that just takes away from the sport so much. I mean, it really does.
Can you tell us about the magic spray?
Oh, the magic spray, Jesus Christ. So here's what you guys have to do. Next time, watch a sport, and or you can even YouTube any, or not a sport, I'm sorry, but soccer. Watch any, you could YouTube it too. But they sit there and it looks like they got their leg just completely mangled in a car accident. Somebody shot them. Who knows? Just it's unbelievable the amount of turmoil and pain that they toss around on the, rolling around on the ground. And here comes a trainer with this little magic spray, and he sprays it on them, gives them a little rub downs, does a little Miyagi Do, wax on, wax off. Hits him with the spray. Next thing you know, the guy looks over. The other player got the yellow card. Boom, he's off. He's good. Ready to go.
He's ready. It's the magic spray.
Back in the game.
Yes.
That's come on. The funny thing is that I was there and I asked the paramedics, because they have paramedics at the games, and I asked them if they had the magic spray. They looked at me like I was nuts.
Right.
They didn't know what I was talking about.
Because it's magic.
But the best part was, as I was talking to him about it, the goalie, somebody stepped on his arm.
Right.
It was hanging by a tendon. Tendon and sinew was the only thing holding his guy's elbow on.
Yes.
So I look over at the ambulance guys, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? Go? He's go?
Right.
They just laughed at me. I'm like, well, go. Do you have the magic spray? They're like, what magic spray? And as I say that, here comes the trainer, sprays the guy's arm. The guy gets up,
He's
runs
healed.
it out. Okay, I'm good.
Yes, I got my breath.
And I'm like, hey, where's your magic spray?
Yes, I got my momentum.
American Ambulance just laughed.
Of course.
So come on, let's get rid of the diving. Let's bring this into
Yep.
Can you imagine if
Just a
rugby
minute.
players dove?
No, or in hockey. No.
Yeah. Oh no. There's a good amount
There's
of diving
some
in
then,
hockey,
and it's getting worse.
Claude Lemieux.
Yeah.
Claude
yeah. Oh,
Lemieux
yeah.
could
Yeah.
pitch a little dive.
Yes,
There's
yeah.
a couple of players.
He's
Who else?
a bit of
Who else is a
he's
diver?
a bit of a China doll.
Yeah. Who else was a lot of diving? But the thing about the NHL is at least they've done something to curve it, to curve it back. They'll give you a penalty. They're reviewing them after the fact and issuing penalties too. I mean, I think if they did that in soccer, that would be huge. You would get a lot more people in, because I honestly think that it really deters a lot of people from the sport. They'll come in, especially like hockey fans. I'm not gonna go watch a soccer game where they're like faking injuries. It's like, come on, hockey, here, hold my tooth, and let me
I'll
go
be
finish
back.
my
Yes.
my shift.
Yep.
And in hockey, the guy looks at you, and then he looks over. I mean, how many people have you? When I fall, I put my hands out like this. I don't fall like this.
Right.
Hands behind me, like I'm
Like a
jumping
shot.
out of an airplane. Trying to
Very
to be
good.
buoyant.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. I don't know if they do, if they part of that training is soccer. And it's going to hate us, but anyway.
He will hit us.
Come on,
gentlemen.
Adam, get them. But honestly, we don't dive that much. That's the one thing
No.
I actually enjoyed about Fresno is they don't do a lot of
No,
diving.
they don't. They don't.
And so, the other thing too, though, and I can kind of see both sides of it. Before I hated, I couldn't stand it, but now after going and watching the games live, and especially since I'm taking pictures, I'm right there on the sideline. There's a lot of tugging.
Yes.
There is a lot of
infighting.
tugging and pushing and pulling on the jerseys.
Yeah.
So I can see why these guys have to like kind of play them up so that the refs will see it.
That's what they're trying to do.
But you know what? I think just an elbow to the teeth.
Yes.
And just keep going.
Yeah. Shoulder to the jaw.
You ain't
elbow
on my
to the
jersey again. I'm punching you in the face.
Correct.
Just keep going. I think that'll curb it a little bit too. But I can see, because there is a ton of tugging. You know what? I think I'll do that. Next game when they're playing again, I'm gonna videotape, and I'll videotape the tugging.
That would be good.
Maybe we'll do
Just a
that. We'll
highlight
do a
reel.
little expose of how much tugging is really there.
Right.
Because remember Mario Lemieux, he quit because it was he quit for other reasons as well. But a lot of it was a lot of tugging. Coming through the neutral zone was a lot of hooking, pulling, tugging, which they've gotten rid of now.
And plus, you have to send his own track too.
Yeah.
Pitcher's on track. Yep. So you had a lot of that.
Yeah. And so, so a lot of that's, kind of gone by the wayside. But yeah.
So, I mean, before we wrap up, like we're going to do 30 minutes tonight, as you know. I mean, you played two sports that always police themselves, and one might surprise you. Hockey, obviously, we know. But even in baseball, you crowded the box. That pitcher was thrown in.
Chin music, baby.
Damn right. But they're roughing that out, officiating that out of it.
No,
because they used to take care of itself.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is they're kind of ruining sports. The way society is going, it's just, I think, going down the toilet. And now the sports are doing it. Like, oh no, he's too fragile. You can't, dude. If you're covering the bag, I'm breaking your ankle.
Right.
If you're on the train tracks coming home plate, I'm gonna bowl you over.
Right.
That's the way I grew up playing.
Ruined that.
You
played catcher.
Yeah. My job was to take out the second baseman to break up the double play.
Right.
And if his shins were bleeding, I did my job.
Yep.
And I did it well.
Yep.
Nowadays, oh no, poor baby, he's gonna get hurt.
No, as
Well,
long
what
as
are we
I touch that bag, I'm
Yeah.
good.
And I
I'll
mean,
take you out.
I've seen the play on Buster Posey. You know, it's not like he dove way out. He came out,
Right.
but it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Even his it's funny because I saw an interview with him. We should look at it. We'll see if we can find it. Where they're interviewing him. His wife is like pissed, and this is well after the fact, after the surgery, after he's back playing, and he's like, "It wasn't that bad." He even says it wasn't that bad.
Right.
She gets really mad,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
but it
it's
wasn't
all right.
that bad.
No.
But everybody else is like, "Oh no, he's a franchise
In the
guy."
70s and the 80s and the early 90s, that was a play that got you knocked down by the pitcher when you got up next. That's all that was.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's how it took care of itself.
And you're done. But
Yep.
now you can't do that because oh no, now we have to step in. Now we have to. It's no, we don't need you to step in.
No.
You know, it's not. We just need you to play.
So before we go, we just want to remind everybody that right now we have available via PayPal at Fresnohockeytalk at gmail.com. Will private message us if you're interested. We have the history of hockey in Fresno by the people who played it. Right, that's the second half of the name of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As
And-
told by those who lived it.
It's told by those who lived it. It's 45 minutes of just unbelievable footage. Sold out at the Maya Theater on November 7th, it was.
Correct.
And then the Hockey Hall of Fame ceremonies, and it will bring tears to your eyes in a good way. And do any of you know what it's like to get a roll of $100 bills like this from Gretzky? You'll hear about it.
Yeah.
Yes. So what do you think of the movie? I mean, you directed it, you know, and then sign us off.
What are you saying? Stuff?
We've got a half hour. It's done.
We're gonna run extra innings on
We're
this.
running
I
extra.
just got
Tony's
here.
running. We're
I just
okay.
got
Uncle
here.
Tony's
Look,
here.
we've already got an ash on this thing.
We're good.
We're good. We've already got an ash. We still got some here. We still got some scotch. What do you think of scotch?
I think it's excellent. You know what we call this scotch? It's called seconds.
I'm sorry. It's whiskey. It's
Because
whiskey.
it's not from
Single malt whiskey. Indian single malt whiskey.
Yes, and we call it seconds because you can't just have one.
Nice. I gotta thank my brother. He brought me that.
His brother just came back from Cuba, by the way. Enjoyed it.
You very much so. Well, you got cut short because there was a hurricane coming.
Yes.
That's
Come
what
on,
you
take
get.
a look, take a picture, get back on the boat.
Pretty much. They were supposed to spend, I think, 2 days there, and they ended up getting 8 hours because we got to beat the thing. And then by the time they actually disembarked, like, we'll see you in 6 hours because we got to go.
Right.
So it's interesting over there too. What you were saying that you can't do like touristy stuff. You can't leave. Like they have two types of money. You have the American dollar, and then they have the Cuban. I don't know what it's called. The Colt. I don't know. It's got a name. I didn't research it. He said it's unbelievable.
Right.
But I guess the people of Cuba they can't use the dollar. They have to use the Cuban money. So I don't know how, and you can't buy things in their Cuban stores with American money. It has to
Right.
be Cuban money.
Yeah,
It's really kind of weird.
Exchange it.
Yeah, but then you're not allowed to use that money anyway,
Right.
so you can't really exchange it.
Ah.
So it's kind of, you're not allowed to tour there, but you can only use the American dollar in this particular area where
Right.
it's accepted,
Yes.
which would be the tourist area.
Yes, it's the exemption spot.
Right.
And I saw some photos. His brother's also a photographer. His brother's a great guy. Not as good as Tony in terms of pictures, but he does a damn good job.
Or good looking like me.
Yeah, well, that too. We know this. And he doesn't have a cool hat like that.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. But the pictures of the cars are beautiful.
Yeah. That's that. I want to go before it becomes too Americanized over there. That's probably gonna be the next trip to go over there. But I'm gonna get in trouble. I don't want us to stay in the touristy area. I want
Right.
to go. I want to follow the old guy who rolled cigars. I
Yes.
want to follow him home. Say, hey, let's. Oh, and actually, that's what he said that they do. So they're starting to kind of let up a little bit on them, right? As far as the dictatorship and allowing them to have a little bit more business on their own. And so you can go like their local restaurants, but it's not. It's basically somebody opens their house to you, and you come in and eat their food, and they make you food, and you pay them. And so that would be interesting to go try. Because when I was in Florida for a conference, they had, went to a restaurant. Like, oh,
Right.
it's Mexican food. And no, it's not. It's Cuban.
Right.
Which is very similar. So like the beans, they use pinto beans. Well, at least this one place. I don't want to generalize, have somebody freak out of our 2 listeners that's going to freak out when it was Cuban. And it wasn't like regular refried beans. It was a different type of bean. But the food was similar, but still good. I love trying different types of food. Heck yeah. So, got to make a trip.
Nice. I got a question for you. Now, you've coached.
Well, ask your questions.
No, and this is just opinion, folks. But this is a question that comes up a lot
I got opinions.
in youth sports. So where do you sit? You've
On my
coached.
butt.
Yes. in terms of, do you play a sport all year round or after the
No,
season?
no,
Talk
no.
about that.
No, you do not. You play a sport, and that's the problem with this town, right? There's not much for kids to do here. So you're either in sports or you're in gangs, or church.
Right.
That's the other large group, I think, which kind of sucks. There's not really a lot of extracurricular activities for kids to do. And ever since Tiger Woods, he played since he was 2. They had the little video of him hitting a ball.
Right.
Everybody wants their kid to do everything year round, constantly, nonstop. Have you seen Tiger Woods lately? He's 40 something. He's falling apart.
Yes.
So
And we know he won a tournament, but in general, he's falling apart.
Yeah, he took how many years off, right?
Yeah.
So it's they have these kids playing year round in a sport. They get overuse injuries, and it's a proven fact. Google it. So whenever you guys Google stuff, don't Google, is my kid going to get hurt playing year round? Because then you're going to get coaches against, season play. No, look up overuse injuries in youth athletics. .scholarly. So in case you don't know, to look up scholarly text or journal responses, you type in scholarly after in a Google search, and it brings up all the journals. They're not fun reading, but you're going to get
You get the real information.
real info. And then you got to look and see who's giving it, who's sponsoring it, and then you got to look at whoever's rebutting it. But there's a ton of overuse injuries in these kids that shouldn't have it. And so my question is always, pro sports, we'll say football, for instance, they make millions, if not billions of dollars on these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a short season. It's not very long. Why is there a season? As an owner,
Right.
dude, that's my cow that's giving me milk constantly. I want to milk her all year long. So
Right.
why aren't the pros playing year round? Because they get hurt. They need time off to heal. Why is it that we're pushing our kids nonstop year round?
That's right.
That's
I
not good.
I concur.
They need to play because it's and they should not play one single sport. They shouldn't do that. They should play a multitude of sports. They need to have a well-rounded core, body, and strength, not just the same muscles being used over and over and over again. That leads them to repetitive injuries. So they need to play. Let them play. They can play year round, but let them play different sports year round. The football, and then they can go to hockey. Hockey is so long. That's one thing I don't like about hockey. That's why when the kids are done, it's like, I don't want to see you at the rink. Go do something else. But they should play
And your
different
son
sports.
does. He plays
Yeah,
football.
those are the other sports. Yeah.
Yep.
And so you need to play different sports, and that really will limit the amount of injuries. But kids are playing summer ball, fall ball, winter ball, all year ball. No, that's too much. They're going to get hurt. And I mean,
With this extra time, I'm going to ask a couple more questions, if you don't mind. But just to kind of put a bow on this, I was talking to one of the Fresno Hockey Hall of Famers.
dude,
about
this is actually pretty good smoke.
It's very good. It's very good. About a week ago, and he was adamant about exactly what Tony's saying is, you don't play your sport all year round. He said where he grew up in Canada, when the season was over,
It's over.
it was ceremonial. You put the sticks away and you went out. You played baseball
Yep.
or you played something else. You do not do that. If somebody's looking for you to do that, they're looking to take money out of your pocket. Now that doesn't mean that you don't stay in shape and stretch or whatever. But be a kid. Go be a kid. Go play other sports. You know.
Get a girlfriend.
Well, there's that, sure. But, whatever your significant other, whoever it is, that's great. So, my other question to you is, your kid, girl or boy, reaches a certain age, and they're shown a propensity for a sport that they enjoy. Not even that they're going to go to the pros, but they enjoy.
Right.
How do you differentiate, or how does a parent, especially on limited income, differentiate between this is a scam, take money, give them a soccer ball, T-shirt kind of clinic, or one that's actually good for the child?
You got to do your research.
And how do you do that?
Well, you ask other parents. You ask other parents that know, that are knowledgeable in it. There's a lot of clinics where they have a player's name on them, and it's like, all this, they have football guys will come down like Shannon Sharp, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's two brothers. Yeah.
And clinic yada yada. He comes in, hey, how you doing? Shakes hands, kisses babies, and then you don't see him the rest of the weekend.
Right.
But you're paying $300 for that weekend.
Right.
Now, does he have qualified coaches? Sure, possibly not. Who knows? But you want to make sure that the person that is they're advertising is the one actually doing the teaching.
Right.
Because it's that experience that you're after, or that knowledge base. Certainly, if you're paying for it, then that's what you want. But you have to ask. You have to do your homework. You have to research and find out what other people have said. After taking that clinic. I mean, what did he do? Is it the first time they've done that clinic? What did the kids learn from doing that clinic in the past? Did they learn much, or was it
Right.
then it's a waste of money. You can learn more from, perhaps even a YouTube video.
Oh yeah.
But
And sometimes, depending upon where your child is, your youth athlete is, sometimes just a local clinic where they're out running around with their friends is fine, because it just keeps them. If they love the game and it keeps them happy and they're happy, they're getting exercise. That's fine. So it depends on that too.
make sure that the clinic has a lot to do with that particular sports. In other words, not you have a lot of clinics that do dry land for like 10-year-olds, and they have them out running laps. They're 10 years old. There's very few of them that are out of shape. They shouldn't be going to a camp to get into shape for 1 week or 3-day camp.
Right.
That's not going to
Especially
get them into
3-day
shape.
camp, right.
You're wasting time and money. They should just be doing specific drills. If you're doing basketball, you should be doing dribbling, setting picks, learning plays, learning how to their hand should be like this instead of off to the side, learning how to do a better shot. Not wasting time stretch. Well, you should stretch, but not wasting time doing jumping jacks and running to the corner and back. And no, you guys have to run four laps. Bye. Warm up, a nice little warm up, a nice little stretch. Get out there and do that in the locker room. There's no sense in wasting ice time or wasting, instruction time on stretching. You should be stretched by the time you get to the field.
Yeah, and I mean, Tony mentioned YouTube earlier. If you don't know this, there's a lot of stretches that you can do at home.
Yep.
To get yourself ready. Contribute right. Oh, that was me to yeah. Anyway, so you can do that as well. So we covered that. We covered. What do you think? 14 and under. It doesn't matter the sport. I mean, it does in some level, but for the person going from an in-house or a church league to a travel, like if you were to write a little manifesto, as a hey, here are FAQs. What would you say?
For what? For what sport? I think it'd be different for every sport.
Yeah, kind of talk about 10,000 feet for each sport.
Well, let's just say from house rec to travel, competitive, right?
Yes.
First of all, why are you going to competitive? Is it that your kid can't get enough good competition in house league, and he's that good that you want to go and be more competitive? Or do you think your kid's going to be an all-star NHLer or NFLer or NBA, whatever? Those are few and far between. These guys are born. They're freaks of nature. You'll know, like, right off if they're that good. Well, maybe not right off, but pretty much. You're gonna see it in these kids. If you don't believe me, ask Serge. He just went to a AAA tryout where he's getting
Serge should
really
be
quick.
listening right now. In fact, if you didn't get a chance to watch him on Facebook Live, when you're done with us, switch over there, watch it. I'm sure it was great.
Yeah, so you'll see these kids. I mean, you can say, "Oh, that he's gonna, go somewhere. Maybe not pro, but at least college, junior college, or something." But if you want your kid to go there because you think he's gonna get a shot at something, well, that shouldn't be your main reason. It should be so he can get more competition and improve his game. I think that definitely the better competition they have that they're playing against, the better they're gonna get. It's just you raise the bar for them for everything, for school. You put a kid in a classroom they don't expect much, he's going to rise to that level. He's not going to try to rise above it. If the level of play is much higher than his, he's going to either learn to play it or he's just going to quit.
Right.
The point is, and that's the problem with people that move their kids up too early, because they're not ready to play travel. They're not ready for that level of competition. So then they don't have fun and they quit. And that's what you don't want. Not to mention in contact sports, football, hockey, lacrosse, any sport that has contact, you put them up too early, they're not ready for that contact. That's really going to turn them off to the sport. So you need to make sure that they're ready to play, that they're good enough to move up, and to go. Now, if it's a non-contact sport but it's more competitive, then that's good too. That's a little easier transition. But then the expectation of them is to be able to make the play from third and the throw to first, not the two hop at the first. Because now you got kids that can make that run fairly quickly, and they're going to beat out the throw. Yeah. So they're not hitting the ball and going like this. The parents don't have to tell them to run to first. They got to get it and know they're going to first. So they have to be kind of ready, and you have to judge that as is what's the reason for them moving up? Are they again? Is it for more competition, to improve their play, better coaching? I mean, that's another good reason to move the kids. But I wouldn't move them up specifically if you think they're gonna, for
Yeah,
some.
you brought two questions to mind. So I'll start with the first one, of course, and that is, all right. Let's take that.
Look at this ash. It's still holding
That
that
is
ash.
that is a great ash. If you know anything about cigars, that's the way it should be. That means it's packed right.
It's got a nice draw.
Mm-hmm.
Nice ash. It's still holding there. Not bad. About a quarter of the cigar at least.
Yeah,
Third.
not bad at
About a
all.
third of the cigar, really. Anyway.
So, I mean, children aren't templates, right? I mean,
They're not accessories either.
not right. So, I mean, take their ability out for a second.
Buenos dias, Darren.
But how would
Victoria.
I'm sorry.
Victoria. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, Victoria. Thank you for watching.
Oh, I just lost my ash.
So, if you were a parent, let's say you're a single parent, or two household, doesn't matter, but and the kid and your child is going to play youth hockey or youth football or whatever it is for the first time, baseball, doesn't matter, basketball. What would you say to assimilate with the team? So, for example, you have a bunch of players who've been playing together, and every year there's some turnover. So you
Right.
say
So the new kid on the team, you mean?
you have a new kid on the team, both to the kid and to the parent. What advice would you give them?
The parent, shut up and stay out of it. The kid, shut up and work hard.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, it depends on the age group too. It depends on. There's a lot of variables in there. Some kids, the younger they are, they just kind of mesh it.
Right.
There are not too many, predisposed expectations. It's just, oh, you're new. Hey, how's it going? They all make friends, right? Which is, I think, we could all learn from that.
Amen.
As you get a little bit older, then you have your little cliques, and even though they're a team, you have kids that kind of hang out together, they get dressed in the same side of the locker room, etc. So they just have to be quiet, see where they fit in, and work their ass off in practice and during the games. Then they'll fit in. If they try overly hard to fit in, they usually will not. And the crack jokes that are nobody's getting. They feel that they have rapport that's not really been built yet. Some of the kids, when a new kid comes in, they've been playing for years together. And so for you to come in, sometimes it's like you might be competing for their friend's spot. So that's also something you have to contend with. So, but if you get there and you're beating that kid out, it's like there's nothing to argue. He's better than you.
Yeah,
so,
and after a while, the majority of your teammates, who aren't your friends yet, but they're your teammates, and in some ways that's even deeper.
Yeah.
They'll come around, and they'll come around because, there's a mourning period to everything else. Hey, that was my friend's spot. We played together for years, and now you have it. But after a while, they'll see that you earned that spot.
Right. And just because your parents think you should get it doesn't mean you should get it. I mean,
Right.
that's when I said parents need to shut up. I mean, not so much in voice your opinion, but don't say anything to the kid. Like, oh, that other kid sucks. You should be playing here, yada, yada, yada. Because then that translates into that kid's mind. And then now he thinks he's better than he actually is. Or maybe he is better.
Right.
But for whatever reason, it's not being put in. Again, you've got daddy ball in all sports.
Yep.
And he's not going to get any better for him.
Mhm.
So just don't say anything to the kids. Just let him play. Let him go have fun. Again, why is your kid playing? Is he playing for a scholarship? Is he playing to go pro? Or is he playing just to have lifelong friends and have fun and something to keep him out of trouble?
And actually, you kind of answered what that second question was. Now let's flip it around. You're at Christmas dinner. You're at New Year's Eve dinner, and you have a well-meaning friend, associate, who goes, your kid's not going to play pro. Why do you have him in travel sports spending all that money?
Oh my God, there's a ton of stuff that I've seen on why is it that there was one it was a mom, it was a hockey mom that did it, and I wish I could. I'm not gonna do it justice, but she said, why do I have my kid? Why am I paying $2,000 for my kid to play hockey? I'm not. I'm paying $2,000 for my kid to be active. I'm paying $2,000 for my kid to learn social skills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying $2,000 for my kid to be able to make friends that are going to be lifelong friends and learn social mores, and also learn how to problem solve, learn how to deal with instruction, learn how to deal with bad instruction, good instruction, and in between. It was a long list of things. I mean, that's why your kids are playing sports. They're not playing them for any other reason other than that. Again, as I said, if you're putting them in because you wanted to win to go pro, well, good luck with that. I mean, the kid's not going to enjoy it. He really isn't.
No, and you're not going to enjoy it either.
No, because
You're
unless the
setting
kid
yourself up for disappointment.
and unless the kid is a phenomenal athlete and they're got to be phenoms, they're probably not. You know.
There's a guy, and my friends, know I reference him a lot. His name's Ron Darlin. Pitched for the Mets in '86. Pitched for the A's. I think you know this story. He tells this story. He says, "Listen," he goes, I pitched in this league for 16 years at the highest level, won a World Series, won a Golden Glove, and he said, my son, very good ball player, but they wanted him to go on these travels to like all year round. And he goes, I said, no, we're just not going to do it. Because here's what happens. The pros find you,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's what he says. The pros find you. You
They
don't
will.
find the pros.
Exactly.
So you better be playing for other reasons. Oh, we're moving.
Good. Keep talking.
So,
Get a bit of long.
so that even better. Yeah, we'll know that for next time. That's the situation there with that, and I kind of hope that answers some questions. And there's cliques everywhere. Parents have cliques. Kids have cliques. The one thing that I would mention is nobody wants their kid. And bullying should never happen. Bullying should never happen, and if it does, it should be reported and handled by the proper channels. Here's my however. It's not a but, it's a however. There's a difference. There is, and Tony hit a home run with it. You took my friend's spot, or you think you're better than me, or we're trying to both get that same position, or whatever the case may be. There's some of that. You always say, let the kids work it out themselves, and they do. They always, 99% of the time they will, and they'll become closer for it. There's no need to solve that problem. And the other thing I would say, and you've heard this a million times, is after the game, don't talk about the game.
Yeah.
Don't make that car ride home a threat.
No. And the thing is that really comes to bear about the parents getting overly involved with the kids up until their teenage years. After like 14U, about 16U, the kids start to make decisions on their own.
Yep.
I mean, the thing is that we expect our kids to get along. We're always hard about, you need to get along with your teammates. You need to get along. Yet the parents are at each other's necks.
Yes.
So
And they see that,
again,
by the way.
it's very, and I've always said this, like, okay, practice what you preach, right? Here, I don't want you smoking.
Yeah.
It's bad for you. Don't do what I do. Do what I say.
Okay.
What's a kid gonna do?
He's going to emulate what
He's
he
gonna
sees.
do what he sees. So if you're sitting there bitching or moaning at each other, and you're telling them they have to get along, why am I gonna get along? You don't get along. It's an ingrained thing. So no, you if you're expecting your kid to get along, then you should too.
Agreed.
For whatever reason, we have to get along with people at work, right? And that's the thing. The problem that's happening is that parents step in and the kids don't learn how to sort it out. So then they build up, and then they go after each other at practice. They go out, they don't play, they won't pass to each other during the game. They're like, nope, I'm not passing him the ball. I'm giving it to that guy. And then it takes away from everything. And then the kids don't have fun playing.
Nope.
But after when they get into like 16U, they're like, hey, screw you, to the parents, and then they're going to be friends with whoever they're going to be friends with. Your job is to set them up to make good decisions prior to that,
Right.
so that the friends that they're making friends with are not the ones that are going out getting plastered after the game. Under 21,
Right.
because after, never mind. But and that's the neat thing. You'll see that now the team cohesiveness actually increases because the parents are now out. They're out of the locker room. They're still in the kids' life, obviously,
Right.
but the kids are making their own decisions. So even though the parents don't like the other parents or they don't like the kid, I get along with the kid. We play well. I don't care.
Right, and that is a major first step. And I'll go back to hockey because we see it because our kids play together and but the parents not being in the locker room is a wonderful first step. Where just because
The Method and Manifesto. Just read it.
yeah, it's just because they could just be themselves. They assimilate at school in the lunchroom. They assimilate in the hallways. They assimilate outside. They assimilate on the playground. Let them assimilate in the locker room. It just develops. The leaders develop.
You don't want to know what they're saying in the locker room. Trust me.
But
Holy heck.
so, I'd say do that. I'd say, no woe was me story, but I was a walk-on in college. I was an absolute walk-on, and so trust me, I had to live through that stuff. And my dad used to say, God rest his soul, control the controllables. You can control how you react to people. Just be yourself. And when you're out on the gridiron, I played football. When you're out there, just give it your all. Just because it's what you're there, and you enjoy yourself. enjoy yourself. And you know, we had a situation one time. This is when I was coaching college, where a parent actually came to the head coach and asked the head coach if his kid could play. Kind of did the parental Rudy thing. And this kid, and he wasn't a kid, he was a young man who remained nameless, still a friend of mine. I felt horrible for it because the parent was doing it for all the right reasons. It wasn't being a selfish person, and he just wanted to see his kids start a game. But everybody loved this guy, he started on special teams, and he was an integral part of the fabric of the team from a cohesive standpoint. He cracked everybody up. Hey, where's so and so? That's part of being on. That's part of being on a team, And I love what the head coach said. He was very polite to the parent and said, if I do that, I'm risking the health of some other people. I'm risking your son's health getting hurt, and somebody else is going to get hurt. I can't do that. And I thought that was awesome, and it was a wonderful teaching moment for me, knowing that if I was ever put in that situation, that I would do the same thing. So I thought,
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Because I mean, what's going to happen when little Timmy, whose mom always goes in there and solves all the problems for him when he's at work? He's going to run into mom. Hey, Mike's making me do more work. He's not pulling his weight. So can you talk to my boss? No, they got to learn to stand up for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unfortunately not the norm. That's why we can't take out the catcher anymore or the second baseman on a double play.
You can't.
Because, because mom might get upset.
We're talking in this case, if it was 8, 9, 10, 14, but when they're in high school, they're going to be working in groups. And there's going to be one kid, 2 kids that aren't doing any work. And yeah, you might bring it up to the teacher in the right way, but at the end of the day, you still got to get it done. You got to work through that. You can't talk to the parent. Because when the parent, I have my teaching credential. That's what my master's degree is in. When if there's something going on that I need to address as a teacher, I'll address it. But most of the time, they got to work it out. Because when you get to school, when you get to college, when you get to the workplace, you got to figure it out. And what a wonderful way to do it on the playing a game that they enjoy.
Dude, when I was coaching, 20 years ago, they had an issue on the ice. Put your helmet on, put your gloves on, go. Locker box.
Lock it back.
15 seconds, 20 seconds tops of throwing errant blows all over the place. They fall to the ground laughing.
Right.
Done.
Yep. Hug it out.
Over. And then usually those are the best friends. Ask Jay Johnson. He's got a great story when he first came here with Ken Ripplinger.
Right.
Ripper couldn't stand him.
Right.
And Ripper had to go pick him up at the airport and hated him. Right. And just flat out told him, I don't like you. Oh, well, alrighty then.
Right. And then they work it out.
Jay, yeah. Ask Jay. He'll tell you the story. And then they ended up being best friends. And that's the way it goes.
Ripper, Serge. Hey, Serge, can't wait to watch your performance tonight. I'm getting text messages that it was really, really good. Well done, brother. And please contribute.
Is he eating yet, or is he still on a hunger strike?
No, he's watching hockey.
Oh, okay. He's watching everything.
Did you see Uncle Tony brought up last year? You didn't have to boycott hockey, and you got your wish. I mean, Vegas was struggling for quite a while. We'll see. From last year, if Vegas, I almost said Las Vegas. You can't say Las Vegas, right? You got to say the Vegas Golden Knights.
No, it's the Las Vegas Golden Knights. You can't say Vegas Golden Knights.
No, you can't say Las Vegas. You can't say Las Vegas.
No,
They get very.
All right, which is it? You tell us in the comments below if it's supposed to be Las Vegas Golden Knights or Vegas Knights. Oh no, I think it's Vegas Knights, and they want to be Vegas Golden Knights.
Right, but you can't say Las
whatever.
Vegas. Anyway.
It is Las Vegas.
But you can't say it.
Why?
Because they want Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas this, Vegas
what?
that.
Las is Spanish, and we don't like Mexicans, so we can't say Las Vegas.
I don't think
we're building a wall, so then we
see,
can't.
Serge knows. He knows.
It's Vegas Golden. He got enough grief. He should know.
He is the hockey guru.
Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes, it is the Vegas.
So
Golden
we lost
Knights.
loss. There's no more loss.
There's no more loss.
There's a loss of loss.
Yes. There's a loss of loss.
Vegas is building a wall.
Yeah.
And his name is Flower.
Flower, yes.
Oh, did you see that nice little tie-in right there?
Tomorrow is January 3rd. I'm back USA Hockey. Yes. Excellent. I love it. In fact, Serge, I don't know if you heard what we were talking about before. Just because I know your son was just up at a kind of prestigious tryout. You just know when the kids are good on the ice. You can see that difference. And isn't that true? So we'll wait for that. Want to do anything else before we wrap up?
I don't know. What else we got? What else can we offend?
We're not
We've
offended
already
either.
offended soccer. We've offended
No, we
basketball.
actually praise
basketball
soccer.
has a lot of diving.
Yes.
Although I haven't seen much of it.
But I will tell you too, not as much as soccer. No, everybody wants Tony's hat.
Hey, this is the daily hat. I'll wear my nice going out hat next time.
Next
but
time.
this one's pretty damn warm.
Yes, yes, and he is warm. And Serge. So, it's a celebration. It's the first show. So that we're going to be doing here, and I love how we are just, on all our social media, channels, and because it's 1 a.m. back east, so the East Coast sports are done. Most of the stuff on the West Coast, so we're hitting anything that's newsworthy. Let me ask you this: I know you can't really talk and can only type. What do you think of Trubisky going to the Yankees after being released by Toronto? I think Yankees. They got him for the league minimum, and Toronto has to pay the rest of that salary. I think it's a great move as well. $20 million.
Jesus.
That's you. For those of you who don't know, that's actually his first name.
That is insane.
Yeah, $20 million.
Should we get into the celebrations that these players are doing? That's one thing. Okay. Again, on the comments below.
Exactly, no risk.
Let us know about celebrations. I can't stand celebrations. Like in hockey. I mean, in football. You're getting paid. That's your job. You're getting paid to do your job. Do your job. You made a tackle. That's your job.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine somebody, a guy is selling a house, sells a house, comes out of the house and spikes the sign.
Right. Yes.
A guy changes the tire at a tire shop, gets up like, yeah, baby, woo! Let me tweet that I changed the tire, woo! Every time, 14 times a day, he's gonna do that? No, that's pretty stupid. So why is it that in sports it's okay?
Well, actually, they this year in the NFL they allowed it back. Again.
Well, that's just because they're trying to do anything to get viewership back because they screwed that pooch.
Yeah, wait till tomorrow when we talk about the bowl games. I mean, let's be honest about the bowl games. I'll just kind of give you a teaser now. They were boring. So number one,
it's not. That's the one thing. I don't. Hockey's pretty much what I watch. But they need to do that. I know they've been talking about this for years about what's the best college team in this district, that district, this bowl game. No, you should just have one. Or have different bowl games, and then everybody gets to continue to play till you have one national champion.
Make it
one.
8. That's what I think. You should make it top 8 teams. Because that's nice symmetry.
Yeah.
And you can have some momentum because, I mean, you had the playoff games, the Final Four, and they weren't very good games, and then you had the games on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day that were just like glorified exhibition games, and they were fun to watch. And don't get me wrong, but could you imagine if all of those games were part of a playoff that went from 8 to 1 champion? That's exciting. That means something. Do you know that the championship game, from what I read today, is not sold out? The championship game is not sold out.
Wow.
That's shameful.
No, it's just decline of viewership, right?
Well,
Well, the other thing too, so here's I got a lot of bones to pick.
There's picky.
There's a lot of picking going
because it's 2019 and we're
Yeah,
wrapped up.
we want some shit settled. We want answers.
Yes.
This is a year of answers.
It's a year of answers.
So, college ball, they're allowed aluminum bats, right? Baseball, you can launch the ball, right? So it's easier in college to hit home runs. You can use a wood bat if you choose to, right? But everybody uses an aluminum bat. Can't use an aluminum bat in the pros. Why?
Because it's dangerous.
Okay, so basically it's easier in college, so you use that. So more difficult, you're a pro, you should be doing the more difficult thing. So then why the hell is it that in college ball, you have to kick a field goal from the sidelines,
Yes.
but in the pros, oh no, we're going to put it right down the middle, buddy, right there.
Yes.
And just like in baseball too, the tryout that I had, we went, it was in Reno, and they had this beautifully manicured field, crushed clay, flat as a road,
Right.
and that's what the pros get to play on. And then every third inning, they come and they brush it down nice and smooth.
Yes.
What the hell is that? Play in some of the fields I played in
That's
Malaga and all these other little, you got rocks when you dive, you're picking rocks out of your shin, out of your kneecap. Let's see, no wonder they never take a bad hop.
That's right.
Like, no, they're pros. Play in anything. You should be able to play in a dirt lot, like the sand
But
lot.
instead, it's
Yeah.
It's
So I
pristine.
think that in pros, they need to have the kickers kick from the sidelines. And then college, they should be right down the middle.
yeah. But you know what? That's so true because you're watching on television and you kind of conceptually get it, but when you play in college, Boy, that's a harsh angle.
Oh, that's a harsh angle. It's just like in hockey, right?
Yes.
Shot down the middle at the goalie, you got the whole 6x4.
Right.
Shot a few feet off to the side, you're no longer that big of a,
No.
So why are we doing? Why is college having to do it and not? And you can't. I mean, give me an answer. One of our 3 viewers can give us that answer.
Yes.
Because it makes no sense to me. Why then? I mean, if you're going to, well, it's because of the no. If you can't use an aluminum bat in the pros because they're better, then the better kicker should be able to put that ball from that sideline.
And you know the reason that I've heard over and over. I coached Division I softball. That I heard was the reason for the aluminum bats in college. Cost. Wood bats are expensive.
So don't pay the coaches millions of dollars.
Aluminum bats are a lot cheaper. Because you can use them year after year, season after season. And that's terrible because it's dangerous as all heck.
Yeah.
Look.
Well, there's a reason
we cover D1 baseball. We love it, but it's a different sport and it's dangerous. So I don't know why they're doing it.
No, why?
Because to your point,
Well, if
the
it's
majors should be
dangerous,
using it.
right? If it's dangerous, then why are we? If they're taking out it's dangerous to slide into the second baseman, dangerous to slide into this guy, then everybody should be using a wood bat.
You know what? To use a hockey analogy, and Serge, you know this to be true. That would be like the pros having to wear cages, but yet the kids under 18 not.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
I think everybody should be wearing a cage because that's
I do
just
too.
crazy.
And if you want to fight, just take the helmet off.
But in hockey, it's kind of like wrestling, right? The scar, the busted lip, the scar over the eyebrow, that's kind of a badge of honor, just like the cauliflower ear is for the wrestler.
Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I like my choppers. And even though, no, leave those alone. It's just such a dangerous sport.
Well,
I mean, it really is.
in football, it changed because in football, you wore the scars on your helmet with pride.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore
Can't
because
do
that's
it.
called sticking and all that's
Yes, can't do it.
contact. And,
Yes, even if it's incidental, and you can't do it because you got to,
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I think part of that happened, like even in the NHL, hits to the head. Like look at Scott Stevens. Oh my gosh, he would just level guys.
Oh yeah.
Oftentimes right in the chest, and they'd still, but it was a lot of hits to the head. And I think one of the players that had I've always thought it was the when the pads changed, and I remember watching an interview. One of the players kind of said the same thing, that when you go into the boards hard with the old pads. I have some done, and I was looking at them the other day, like, what are these? Those are elbow pads. You think they are? Because they're just the old Cooper soft cushion pad. I'm like, yeah, that's all it is.
Right.
You went into the boards, you missed your hit, you kind of felt it.
Yeah.
So you didn't go into the boards with all
Right.
balls out. So now with all the new padding, it's all padding over with hard plastic over the top. You don't feel anything.
Right.
So you go full blast into the boards. If you miss them, you miss them. You're still not going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
But when you hit them, now you're hitting with the hard plastic. Now so I think the velocity has increased because of that reason. They're not afraid of it. Football, same thing. The pads have gotten better, so they're just taking liberties and slamming guys. And they've proven. Actually, they're finding that out in hockey, because before the studies were they were wrong in the fact that they said it was the fighters that got the concussions, right? Not so. An open ice check to the chest, it doesn't matter. It's rapid acceleration and deceleration, right? So they're coming across the center ice and they get a clean hit. Their head still whiplashes. They still stop even though there's no contact with the head. They're still getting concussed. So now the NHL is starting to look into all of that as well. I don't like the fact that now it's a clean hit and the other team loses their shit. It's like, no, that was a clean hit. Let it go.
Hold on, Serge, if you're still with us, who was on the Monsters who broke his jaw?
Hello, Edward.
Hey, Edward. Good to see you, my brother. Because we had that question earlier, and I couldn't remember his name, who broke his jaw in 3 places at the Vegas Showcase. If you're still there. But no, you're right. Spanish. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, brother.
You speak Spanish? ¿Hablas español? You got typographic
I
error?
think he was
or
saying that was his name, maybe.
Spanish?
Maybe.
Spanish. Oh, I don't know. Sí, español. Oh,
Muy bien.
Bienvenido. Gracias por. I don't know how to say tune in Spanish. I'm losing my Spanish.
Watch this.
Por verlos? Yeah, I guess so.
So,
Estamos en Fresno, California, en los Estados Unidos.
yes.
Oye, de Honduras. Ahí voy a estar en Honduras en 2 meses, en Rotan.
Well, you didn't expect that, did you?
There you go. We're multi-sport, multilingual around here.
That's right. Yes.
We're gonna start counting. We can do Japanese too.
As we talk about the three-headed triumvirate.
Ah, pues yo voy a ir. So Edward's saying that he's always wanted to go to Rotan, Honduras. He's from Honduras, but he wants to go to Rotan, which is where I will be in a few months.
Yes. He'll be enjoying maxing and relaxing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And cigars.
And cigar.
There's
Well,
definite budget for cigars.
absolutely. So I think 70 minutes. We're going to wrap up. We want to thank everybody for watching. And
We finally got 4 viewers, and you're gonna cut them
well,
off.
we stay. We stay.
Jeez.
We'll stay. Okay, we're going to stay. What do you want to talk about now?
I don't know. So let's go on. I don't know. What else?
All right.
What else? What shall we speak about? One of the
here's
4
a
viewers,
question,
give
and-
us a topic. We'll knock it out of the park.
Yeah, somebody give us a topic.
Question about anything. We'll do anything. See if we can answer. See if you can stump us with the question. Test our knowledge, not just in sports, in anything. You want to know the correct timing for a 350 Chevy engine? Ask that. I'll give you that too.
All right, hold on. Check your PayPal.
Check my PayPal.
Oh, thank you. Let's check it
Nice.
out. Thank you
You
very
check
much.
it. Hola, me podrían hacer una.
He's going to check.
Edward wants us to contribute to his PayPal. He's a little
we'll do
backwards.
that.
He's a little backwards on that one. He wants to buy a camera.
Well, tell him that's a good endeavor.
All right, so we're checking our PayPal. Thank you. If that was a donation, thank you very much. That's greatly appreciated.
Not there yet, but who knows?
I don't
Maybe
know.
eventually.
That's
But
your
thank
that's your gig.
you. Yeah. Thank you anyway.
So anyway, Jesus can walk on water. He can swim on land. Well, my first name is Jesus, and I don't walk on water, and I can swim on land. Because that's what he should do, trying to get to home plate when I slid a little short, start swimming.
Yes, that's what you do.
All right, so.
Oh, you do the swim move to get away from the tag. You do that sometimes
Oh,
too.
yeah, there's a guy. I was watching a thing. I got onto this loophole in YouTube, and a guy that does a swim move who plays, and they had a ton of them. The guy is awesome at it.
Oh, yeah.
He comes in like this, and nope, and they pulls their way,
Yep.
and the guys just phantom tag him every time. It's awesome. And a couple
Suckers
they had
him into this side.
They had to review it, and
Right.
the guy's good at it. They showed a ton of them that he was doing. Like, oh, that's pretty sweet. So what do you think of the Scotch? Or I'm sorry, the Indian single malt whiskey?
I do very good.
Yeah? Why are you going to that then?
Oh, I thought that was it.
No, it's not here.
Oh, yes, you got it all cased up.
Yeah, it's gotta look good. How many years is this anyway? It doesn't say how many years, because this guy just started, I think.
This is a wonderful cigar, by the way.
Dude, this is the new cigar.
Yes. I can pick it up on the way home from work.
Yeah. You hear that? Love that sound.
That's a great sound. Perfect.
So, those of you who haven't tried Scotch, oh, yo no sé tampoco. Por una razón u otra te lo mandaron. What do you guys like? I would say that hands down, the drink of most hockey players, Crown Coke.
Yes.
It just seems to be the drink.
Mm-hmm.
So you played football. What was the drink for you guys?
It was Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, because it was the 80s, Breast Monkey.
Brass monkey.
Yes. And you just put a little ice, a little Breast Monkey, and you're good.
Real Beastie Boys.
Yes. And you play your Beastie Boy.
Brass monkey.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a little bit of ice. I always try my Scotch like just straight first, just to get the full flavor. Well, actually, just to see what it is like that. And then you add a little bit of ice. I like it cold, and it melts a little bit, so it gives a little bit of water and really brings out the flavors in it.
Yes. You taught me that.
Yeah.
Just kind of let it sit just a minute or two and just kind of let it open up.
So there's a bunch of, just like in everything else, you have these people that are like, oh, I can taste it's a little bit of nutmeg and a little bit, shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up. But I was watching one guy who was doing a tasting, and I kid you not, he put basically 50-50 water to Scotch, right?
Mhm.
It's like, oh shit, that seems like a lot. And then I watched another guy who literally has a pipette and put 2 drops of water. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that really brings out the flavor. Oh, I can really taste the oak.
No, you can't.
Oh, I can.
First of all, when I use the word oak, oh, there we go.
Qué bien hablas el español y el inglés. Gracias. I said I speak both languages well. What is that? What is that? Oh, it's an email. I thought that was people clocking in. That's your email.
That's email,
San Jose Sharks just sent us something, so
which is kind of cool.
this is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Where were we? Oh, the tasting. The guy literally put like a drop in, and then all of a sudden, oh, the flavors just exploded.
Whenever I hear anybody say oaky, whether it's wine or a scotch or whiskey, I'm calling BS.
No, actually, I would agree to some extent. However, the Auchentoshan that I have, it's an American oak, and
Oh,
then
no, I
it
get
finishes it finishes in
You
bourbon
gotta-
casks.
Right.
That one, if you add water, not a pipette, but like a tablespoon or so of water,
Right.
you really can taste the oak. That's
I get
holy
it.
shit, you can.
But
taste
you got to earn the right to say you taste the oak. Is what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's a big flavor. But
Yeah.
for them to say, I can taste a little bit of rind of lime. Like seriously, like
It's plain madness.
yeah, you're just reading the label.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe I don't. I don't have that palate that these guys have come up with. They can tell you what year
Friends,
it is.
how are you, my brother?
Edward 11.
Hey,
7-Eleven.
Welcome. And Pencil Guy, welcome as well.
Pencil guy apparently is hungry. He wants to eat something. We're very popular in the Spanish countries,
Yes, which is a good thing.
Spanish speaking countries
Yes.
actually. Which is another thing.
Oh yes.
They're not Hispanic.
No. I know.
Not Latin. Latin is a dead language.
Yes.
So no.
Yeah.
It's just they need to change that. Oh, you're Hispanic. No, I'm not. There's no island of Hispanol. I'm Mexican.
Yes.
That's it. No, you're an American Mexican. No. Because a German Shepherd born in America is not an American Shepherd.
No, it's a German.
It's a German Shepherd.
Right.
Okay, so there you go. But then if you have Cuban, you're Cuban. I think they should need to change the Spanish-speaking countries. Like, I don't know, Spanish speaker. Just call them Spanish speakers.
Right.
Call us Spanish speakers, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. But the Hispanic thing, like,
No,
you have to check a box. Neither one applies.
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
I digress.
No, it speaks the truth, my brother.
So, what do you think of John Paul?
There we go.
Paul John.
That's not a good thing to be called that.
He calls a beaner. Dude, I hadn't been called a beaner in a long time. Like, not much shakes me, right? And I was playing a hockey game like 20 years ago. And this one guy, he was a French-Canadian guy, of course.
Mhm.
He comes up and he says, so he calls me a beaner. I'm like, beaner? And then it registered, like, wait, he just like racially slurred my ass.
I just got
So
slurred.
then I wasn't playing goal, I was skating out, so I go after the guy, right? And he said, just go after him. And so then, of course, hey, you freaking frog, blah, blah, back and forth. And they break us up. The guy was a pretty big guy. He was, I'll wait for you after this. No, settle that shit now. Let's go.
Right.
We're in the box. We're yelling at each other in the box. And one of the guys goes, dude, you may want to, like, chill. I'm like, why? That's like the bare knuckles champ in, like, some Quebec, some fucking thing.
Right.
And I was like, so what? I'll whoop his ass right now.
You're caught up in a moment.
Yeah. And afterwards, like, where is he?
Did you leave?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. Oh, there it is.
Oh, what's that?
I don't know. Oh, that was mine.
Oh. Yes.
So that was kind of funny. But anyway.
So, guys, Edward or Pencil, you got any questions? Sports related
Well, now you're going to sports related.
or anything? We're here.
Penicillin, that'll cure most of your ails. Holy hell, dude. I got a little.
Me too.
46% is pretty strong.
Yes.
What's a Glenlivet? We also have a little bit of Glenlivet 15.
Mm-hmm.
That's Darren's selection here. That's 40%. We're kicking butt over here with.
Favorite football team? Hey, Edward.
I don't.
My favorite is the Woeful Jets and the Woeful Raiders. Those are my two favorite teams by far. And then there's everybody else.
So I used to be a Dallas fan back when I used to watch football.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Landry was still coaching.
Yes.
Then they got rid of Landry.
They were a great team.
They're a great team. They got rid of Landry and they brought Jimmy Jones, Jimmy
Jimmy
somebody.
Johnson.
That guy. And then the owner too, right?
Yeah. Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. And they got rid of Landry. I just really couldn't like it. I was like, man, whatever. So watched him for a couple of years, and then I think we were playing the Browns, and I don't know who the player was. It was a great play. My buddy's a diehard Dallas fan. We're watching the game, and it was like that was a great. I mean, the guy outstretched out here, one-handed grab into the end zone. I was like, yes, that's a nice catch. My buddy's like, what are you talking about? That's against our team. That's not my team. I don't live in Dallas.
Right.
I don't even live in Texas. What are you talking about? I just like the helmet. I like this, I like Roger Starbuck and Dorsett. This is how far back this was. And so he throws a fit. Like, you know what? Screw that. I'm going for the Browns now. So now I'm hoping the Browns won. So then I was all over them, right?
Right.
So they're the Browns. I like the Browns from that point forward.
Nice year this year.
About time. They haven't played well since Mac dropped the ball twice. back-to-back Super Bowls against Denver.
Mhm.
Oh, hey, look who knows a little hockey knowledge. I mean, football.
Still good.
There you go.
Yep, good. The bell didn't ring yet.
But then I quit watching them shortly thereafter, so I don't.
So I'll tell a story. I also show my age. So I had season tickets for the Jets.
You got your name, Edward. 7-Eleven.
23 years? 24 years? First year, I had season tickets for the Jets. Shea Stadium, which isn't there anymore, torn down. Guess how much for a full year season tickets? You didn't have to buy a preseason back then. So it's 8 games.
Where were the seats?
35-yard line box seats, field level.
$237.
Which is what you would expect in 77.
Yeah.
How about 88 bucks?
Jesus Christ.
88 bucks, $11 a ticket.
And 88. Gas was 65 cents a gallon, I think. No, it was like $1.09.
And I'll tell you, great time. We used, if you know what a Gremlin, and I know nothing about cars, but we used to go in a Gremlin.
That was a poor man's Pinto.
Yes, Pintos laughed at the Gremlin. The AMC Pacer, the bubble car, that looked like the bullpen car, laughed at the at the Gremlin. But we took a Gremlin, and we partied and had a great time.
I think these things should last as long as a cigar.
What's that?
Just a little show.
Little shot.
The cigar's over, the game's over.
What is that? Oh, you want $10? You know, eventually, maybe. It's good to think about.
Sure, I'll have my Nigerian uncle send you an email. I gotta say, it's not loading up. This is a good selection. Should I tell them the price? No, because then it'll go by them, and then they'll go
That'll
up.
be less, yes.
They're terrible. It's a terrible selection.
Yes,
So-
you do.
Anyway, so the Indian Scotch is a winner. We like it. We can still get that. I think we can still get it. I don't know where my brother got this though. I think he was on a cruise somewhere. My brother, who's afraid of water, that can't swim and would never go on a boat. I talked him into going on a cruise. He's been cruising.
Loved it, right?
Cruise, oh yeah, he's cruising like crazy.
Cruises is great. I love cruises.
They are, and you can get really good rates right now because of the hurricane season. I wouldn't go
Right.
there. Hell no.
But you know what? I wouldn't either get some choppy water, but these, with the technology they have today,
I don't know. They still hitting icebergs and they're still beaching them on the side.
roadways.
Yeah.
They still have those roadways.
I mean, that's a tank. The thing that amazes me is like the tankers.
Yep.
But they're taking the little highways that are just really calm too. But so here's one for you.
There you go.
I had something. I lost my train of thought. Anyway,
I'm going to have to turn this down now because we've got to finish up. I got to go in soon.
we're running out.
We're running
His
out.
wife's knocking on the window behind us.
Yep. And
The
but
dishes,
we will
the dishes need to be done.
The dishes need to get done again. We won't be back until tomorrow. Same time, 10 o'clock PST. Make this a regular thing. We're going to talk sports, talk some other things, and just have some fun. So we appreciate you coming. And again, if you want to get a copy of the movie, Pencil Guy. Get a copy of the movie, go to Fresnohockeytalk@gmail.com with your PayPal. It's $30. $5 of every purchase goes directly to the Boys and Girls Club of Fresno County.
Yep. And that's the movie and the Hall of Fame ceremony at the after.
Mhm.
So everything's on one drive. You get everything for one.
And 10 minutes of behind-the-scenes hysterical stuff that never made the movie. So we appreciate you coming. Thank you for, we salute you. That's why we're toasting tonight. We salute you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.